All right, everyone, welcome back to Fix It Fast.
Yes, welcome back.
Last time we did a deep dive into pressure washer switches.
Yeah, those were fun.
They were fun, and, today we're going to be talking about ovens.
Yeah.
Specifically, oven control panels and what happens when they go wrong.
Yes, and how to prevent them from going wrong.
Yeah, and how to fix it, if they do go wrong.
Exactly.
It's
It could be a scary thing.
It can be really scary.
Right. Especially if you're in the middle of cooking something.
Yeah, but like what happens when your oven control panel just decides to, not work anymore?
Right, and you don't know what to do.
Yeah, so what actually a control panel malfunction?
So a control panel malfunction, it could be a variety of things.
Yep.
It could be that the buttons are no longer responsive.
Yeah.
You press bake and nothing happens.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Or the display is acting up. It could be flickering.
Mm-hmm.
It could be showing the wrong time or temperature. Or it could be completely blank.
Okay.
And then, of course, there are the dreaded error codes.
The error codes.
Which, can be very cryptic.
Yeah.
They can mean a lot of different things.
You don't even know what they mean.
Right.
What does F1 mean?
Exactly. Or E.
Yeah. What do those things even mean?
Right.
So, but why should we even care if our control panel is acting up? Is it just an annoyance, or is it actually dangerous?
It can be dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah, because it could be a fire hazard.
Oh, wow.
It could be an electrical malfunction.
Okay.
Or it could even be a foodborne illness.
Wait, really?
Yeah, if your oven isn't heating properly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not just an annoyance.
Right.
It's something that you want to take seriously.
So, okay, let's say our control panel is glitching.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? What's the first step?
First step, unplug the oven.
Obviously, right?
Yeah.
Safety first.
Safety first. Yeah, unplug the oven, and then you want to inspect for visible damage.
Okay.
So any melted wires, burnt components, loose connections, anything like that.
Okay.
And if you see any of that, stop and call a pro.
Right.
Don't try to fix it yourself.
Yeah, don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's say we don't see any visible damage.
Right.
What do we do then?
Well, some ovens have what's called a manual override.
Okay.
So check your manual.
Okay.
And if it does, you can try that.
What does that even do?
So a manual override basically allows you to bypass the control panel and operate the oven manually.
Okay.
But it's not,
a long-term solution.
not a long-term solution, yeah.
Okay, so when do we know when to call a pro?
Well, you should call a pro if you're not comfortable working with electricity.
Yeah.
If you're not sure what you're doing, if the problem seems complex, or if you've tried to fix it yourself and it's not working.
Yeah. Don't want to make it worse.
Exactly. It's better to be safe than sorry.
So I guess we've kind of laid the groundwork here, right?
Yeah.
We know what a control panel malfunction is, what it looks like, how to spot it.
Yeah.
We talked about safety.
Right.
So let's get into that. A lot of our listeners love DIY.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's the spirit of the show.
It is. And I love it too.
Right.
But with oven control panels, is it really worth it?
Well, it depends. It depends on your comfort level. Obviously with electricity, right.
Right.
You can save money if you DIY.
Okay.
You don't have to pay for labor.
Right.
And there's that sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, right.
Totally. But, it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what you're doing, you could end up making the problem worse.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And costing yourself more money in the long run.
So, when would you say it's really time to call a pro?
I would say if you see any visible damage.
Okay.
Like we talked about before, melted wires, burnt components.
Right.
Definitely call a pro. Don't mess with that.
Yeah.
And also, if the problem is persistent.
Okay, what do you mean by persistent?
If the buttons are still not working after you've tried cleaning them.
Okay.
Or the display is still acting up.
Right.
That kind of thing. It could be a deeper issue.
Yeah.
Maybe the control board itself is faulty.
And we don't want to mess with that.
Right.
Right.
And then also those error codes.
Yeah, those things are weird.
If you're not sure what they mean, or if you've tried to reset the oven and they keep coming back, call a pro.
Okay, that makes sense. What about okay, so we call a pro, but what about what can they actually do?
Well, they can diagnose the problem
obviously, right?
right? Using specialized tools.
Okay.
They can repair or replace the control panel,
Okay.
and they can usually give you a warranty on their work.
Okay, so that's a good thing. So,
Yeah.
like, I guess peace of mind, right?
Yeah, exactly. Peace of mind.
Okay, so say, hypothetically, someone wants to DIY this.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most important thing they should know?
Unplug the oven.
Okay, we've said that a few times.
I know, but it's so important.
Yeah, of course. Safety first.
Safety first.
Right. So, okay, we talked about what a control panel malfunction looks like. We talked about safety. We talked about DIY versus calling a pro.
Right.
But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about prevention. Like, what can we do to prevent these control panel meltdowns from happening in the first place?
Well, the biggest thing is to keep your oven clean,
Okay.
especially the control panel.
Right.
Grease and grime can build up on the buttons and cause them to stick or malfunction.
Yeah. No one wants a sticky control panel.
Right. So just wipe it down after each use with a damp cloth.
Okay.
And then every month or so, you can give it a more thorough cleaning with a mild soap and water solution.
All right. That's pretty easy. That's
Yeah, also be careful not to use harsh chemicals or abrasive cleaners.
okay.
Those can damage the surface of the control panel.
Right.
And lastly, just give your control panel a visual inspection every now and then.
Okay.
Look for any cracks, loose buttons, or other signs of wear and tear.
Gotcha. Like, make sure everything's in place.
Right.
Okay.
And if you see anything that looks suspicious, call a pro to get it checked out.
Yeah, makes sense. So I guess we've covered pretty much everything, right?
Yeah, I think so.
We talked about what a control panel malfunction is, how to spot it, the dangers, DIY versus pro.
Mm-hmm.
We even talked about prevention. But before we wrap things up, I think it would be helpful to just, like, summarize everything, go over the key takeaways.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I feel like we've had a lot of fun with these oven control panels.
Yeah, we have, haven't we?
We have. And, we've talked about what they are, how they work, what can go wrong, how to prevent things from going wrong.
Right, it's lots of information.
Yeah. But I think it's always good to, just to recap, hit those key takeaways one more time before we say goodbye.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's drive those points home.
So, first and foremost, always safety first.
Yeah.
Unplug the oven before you do anything.
Yes.
Don't want to get shocked.
No, don't want to become part of the circuit.
Nope.
Mm.
And then, once it's unplugged, take a look. See if there's any visible damage,
Yeah, give it a good once over.
Yeah, melted wires, burnt stuff.
Right, anything that looks out of place.
And if you see anything like that, just stop.
Yeah, put down the tools.
Right, step away from the oven.
And call a professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry, especially with electricity.
Absolutely, yep. It's
Yeah.
not worth the risk.
Right. And then I guess, the error codes.
Ah, yes, the error codes.
Those can be tricky,
They
right?
can be really confusing.
So confusing. So, if you're not sure what they mean, or if you've tried to reset the oven and they keep coming back,
Yep, don't just ignore them.
yeah, don't ignore them. Call a pro.
Yeah, they have the tools and the knowledge to figure out what's going on.
Exactly. And then I guess the last thing is prevention.
Yeah, so important.
So important. So keep it clean, right?
Oh, yeah. A clean oven is a happy oven.
Exactly. Wipe it down after each use.
Just a quick wipe down, get those crumbs and spills before they bake on.
Right. And then maybe like once a month, give it a deeper clean.
Yeah, with some warm, soapy water.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, nothing too harsh.
And then, also while you're cleaning, just take a look, check for any like cracks or loose buttons.
Yeah, just give it a visual inspection every now and then.
And if you see anything that looks off, just call a pro to get it checked out.
Exactly. It's always better to be safe than sorry.
So, yeah, I think that about covers it, right?
I think so, yeah. We've pretty much covered everything you need to know about oven control panels.
Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Fix It Fast. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about those mysterious control panels.
Yeah, and remember, if you're ever in doubt, don't hesitate to call a professional.
Exactly. We're always here to help. So until next time, happy fixing, everyone.
Happy fixing.